Alrighty, here we are hopping in with some 4-color Yorion Cat. Now, this is a list that I've wanted to play for quite a while. It's actually Corey Baumeister's list, and where he was most currently at. I figured, it's actually been a while since I played a deck of this variety, so I didn't want to mess with it too much as far as the numbers or things like that. You can definitely see some interesting choices with like 3 Mana Leak, 2 Remand. Feels a little interesting. This 1 Oath of Chandra over like a 4th Lightning Bolt. Also definitely interesting. So I'll be curious to see how some of that stuff plays out. But other than that, it's fairly what you would consider to be typical of a deck of this style, right? You're on your Stone Forges, you're on your Teferis, your Saheelis, your Cats, you got Jaces, some equipment to pick up with that, and then Ren and 6 and Ice Fang to be able to kind of help with the more fair game plan. And then in the sideboard, some Lightning Helixes to help against the aggressive stuff, and Anger the Gods to try and deal with some of these Lurrus creature style decks. One thing I'm noticing about this list is not having something like Celestial Purge could make it a little tricky to answer cards like Kroxa in the late game. You never know, but it could potentially make it a little bit interesting for something like that if we run into like the Jund Lurrus deck. So I personally would like to find a way to fit some Celestial Purges in this deck in some way, shape, or form, just because I think the card is pretty darn good right now. I think it is up there with Veil as one of the better sideboard cards available in Modern at this current point. I don't know if it's, I'm not trying to say it's as good as Veil of Summer, it's not, but, we're to a point where it comes in a large variety of matchups because so many people like to play Lurrus, and having a clean answer to Lurrus as well as most of the permanents in the Lurrus decks is definitely just solid for us. And then also these decks can occasionally get cheesed out by the Obosh decks. An Obosh deck will occasionally come through and just get you with, like, pillage your Astrolabe into Blood Moon you, and you're like, man, this shouldn't work, but it totally did, and now I'm totally out of the game. And, occasionally one singular Celestial Purge can help save a situation like that as well, too. Also just being able to answer the Obosh itself, so that way when they eventually do cast something like that, it's not the end of the world. It also is helpful because a lot of those decks have now adapted to Luca, and trying to Luca their like Season Pyromancers into Emrakuls, and so being able to remove their creature in response to a Luca activation is also very good. So I would be interested in potentially trying to find room for Celestial Purge. It could be over some number of like Lightning Helixes. I've also really liked that card in the main at this point. In my last Saheeli list, I was actually playing Lightning Helix over Lightning Bolt in the main, because the mana efficiency was not nearly as relevant as the life gain from the Lightning Helix. So we'll see how that goes, but in a deck that has Stoneforge Batterskull, hopefully that's not going to be as much of a problem for us, because being able to tutor for that Batterskull at any point in those aggressive decks should be able to make a meaningful difference, all things said and done, against the prowess decks and whatnot. The problem is that they do get their creatures bigger than Batterskull, so you're probably going to have to just trade it for not taking damage and gaining 4 life, and then hoping to be able to, equip it to something meaningful later on. But alright, that's enough spewing about potential sideboard cards. Let's get right into it. Looks like our opponent is looking to choose to go first. They haven't done that yet. It's nice that on Moto you get a little pause to know whether your opponent's about to reveal a companion to you or not, and it looks like they are, because they just chose to play first and it hasn't gone to my priority yet. We will reveal ours as well. Thank you very much, Yorion. And Lurrus. Okay, so getting our feet wet immediately, I guess, huh? Well, this hand is interesting. Yikes. It's good against... What is this hand good against out of Lurrus? Against the Lurrus burn decks, we're in really rough shape. Against like a Lurrus Jund deck, we might be fine. Against Boggles or Scales, we're probably stone cold dead. I think this has to be a mulligan, unfortunately. Yeah, this is much better. Similar hand, but I don't like having to bottom the Mystic Sanctuary, but I think we're going to need our lands to be untapped, and looks like that's pretty far off from having that happen here. Okay. So it looks like we're just getting Thought Seized here. Just a bummer. That could just take our Astrolabe, but then we're pretty out of luck, actually. Yeah, this is awkward. The good news with it being like Jund, however, is the fact that this Sword of Feast and Famine could potentially do some work for us. So, really needing to find another land here. A fetch land, which most of our lands are, would be fantastic. No such luck. Might just kind of get cheesed out of this one. Play draw is pretty relevant because, you know, obviously if we were on the play and we got that Astrolabe down, we'd be in a much better spot, but who knows? Oh, it's the red-black prowess deck. Gotcha. Gotcha. Well, this is far from a blistering start out of them, which is good for us. Ooh, okay. So this just enchants a land, correct? Yes, sweet. So this will draw us a card. And then, okay, great. So that now taps for any mana, which means that we can Path to Exile here, which is obviously fantastic for us. This is probably the more popular of the prowess decks at this point. Is this version? Okay. Another land. It's a bummer for them that they sequenced in the way they did. I think I will just take the opportunity to path this at this point. Yeah, especially if they're going to try and get an extra damage out of it. And then next turn, we can Stoneforge to find Batterskull. Very, very reasonable chance that it is dead. That's a pretty rough draw for us, actually. Oops. Considering we already have this. Good news is we can potentially chase, shuffle it away. Either the sword or that. So that's a potential for down the line. Now, I believe all they know about is our sword here. So this is likely dead, yep. That one's gonzo. We'll see what else they've got. Just Lurrus. Okay. So they're starting to get their Lurrus Bobble Engine going, which is obviously not great for us, but, you know, we're not in a position where we can really do much to stop that. I guess we can just get rid of this now, because getting a tap land's probably what we're in for. Steam Vent seems fine, I guess. Can we get white-red? Do we have a Sacred Foundry? I kind of want to grab a white-red. No, I'm actually going to grab a Hollowed Fountain. Just in case they have, like, I don't know, something to be able to take care of this, and it knocks us off of white mana. And then also we want to make sure that we have double blue for this Jace. That's going to get in for 4. That's a hefty hit. That kind of stings, but, you know, if they don't happen to have another removal spell, we can just play out this one as well, too. Okay. Which I think is what we're going to do here. Yeah, I'm just going to play this out. Obviously, we can't search for anything. But now if they don't have another removal spell, it means we can put this Batterskull in on the cheap, which is probably good. Also, a Sword of Feast and Famine does protect Stoneforge against basically all of their removal, which is good. Once it has pro-black and it gets +2/+2, we're in a pretty good spot. Okay, this is problematic with this Swift Spear coming down, because now if they do have a removal spell for this, we're probably going to be hurting pretty bad. Really looking for, like, Path to Exile or something at this point. So, they looked at their top card, right? Yeah, and they're using this to draw a card, so that's really problematic because there's a reasonable chance that this then answers that, which is why they're doing this right now in this order. Could also be that they just, you know, want more cards, right? This could be like a Manamorphose or, you know, potentially even just like another Abbot or something, you never know, but Yep. Okay, so it was in fact lightning bolt. So this turn got really out of hand for us. Now we are just hoping that they don't have a fatal push for this germ when everything's said and done. What are they cracking their land for right now? Just crack this, I guess. Okay. They rip more. Yikes. And when this deck draws hot, it draws hot. Hot, hot, hot. That is for certain. So I'm not going to fetch because we could get to a position where, well, obviously we need a land. And wait, how much damage does this? It puts us to... Yikes. So actually I think we probably do need to fetch now that we're at 1. That's really awkward. Well, dead to a lot. I mean, a lot. Also just dead to missing a land, dead to having a fetch land as our land. Dead to that as well, too. Yeah, that was... Oof. Woofta. These prowess decks, when they draw hot, they draw super hot. I mean, it's not even close to like the way that burn functions. When burn gets you, you know, it's edges and, you know, points of damage here and there kind of thing. But when that deck draws hot and it goes like prowess creature, a bunch of stuff in one turn, you know, they take off huge chunks of your life total all at once. So I think we're just kind of an all kill spells on deck kind of matchup here. I don't like Veil of Summer against this. I know it can protect against, you know, a couple of different things, but I'm just not a huge fan of it. I just don't think it's really where we need to be at this point. Renin 6 might be fine. I'm just looking at all these counter spells and thinking that once we get behind on the board, we're not really going to want cards like that. They're also really, really cheap in their deck, so that's not great. And maybe it's just a Renin 6 trim. Could also be like potentially a Teferi trim, but I like being able to have that against their interaction. I'm just going to go with the Renin 6. It can answer the 2-1, but their deck is filled with a bunch of X2s, like Monastery Swift Spear and the other one. And so it's pretty likely that it comes down and then just gets attacked down and dies on turn 2. Yes, we will play first. Thank you very much. Let's look for a reasonable hand here. See what we can run into. Anger of the Gods is obviously fantastic for us in this matchup. It's just really awesome being able to clean up a bunch of things and let them not Lurrus it back. Yikes! That was unfortunate right there. That hand was quite the bummer. Alright, I think we're going to keep this and just bin the Saheeli. We're pretty far away from the combo. We're pretty likely to have to play a fair game here. Having 2 good 2-drops that we can cast on turn 2 means that, you know, they can't really disrupt our curve, and we keep a removal spell. So I'm going to keep this and bin the Saheeli just really for curve purposes and against hand disruption. I think it matters for those couple of reasons specifically. And we'll go ahead and pass. So when they thought, or Inquisition us, I guess here, they probably then take this one, which means we still have a play on turn 2, which is pretty important for a deck like this. So I'm just going to go ahead and assume that that's going to be our play this turn. That's definitely a bit of a bummer to have drawn because it makes our next Stoneforges obviously not fantastic, but all things considered, at least it's a card they don't have the knowledge of, which is kind of good for us. That's fine. Okay. So obviously we can't trade this off yet because this does not have Death Touch, and they didn't attack with it, which is probably just a misclick. We're going to take the opportunity to just run this out. Okay. So a Lava Dart's pretty rough for us, obviously. We don't want to see that. That's a good draw. Kind of want to just get an island with this, and since I want to get an island... but then we can't Stoneforge and Path, which is really awkward. I guess we get Plains. We'll grab the sword, and now we're in a spot where they don't know about the Batter Skull, which is kind of cool. I'm going to hold this back, because if we get to like a really weird situation where they like go to kill this. Maybe there's a world where we can like path this, get a basic block or something. If they're like all tapped out. I mean, I don't see that happening, but you know, you never know. So yeah, we'll go no blocks. If they try to make these too big, we can path one of them. Wow, they're not at all. So maybe this is just like light up the stage or something like that. That looks like that's what this turn is all about. Kiln Fiend. Okay. Well, that one gets big really quick, so I think we need to answer that one. Or maybe it's just this one. Yeah, I'm actually going to go with this one because what I don't want to have happen is then be able to answer Batterskull through like bolting it to make it a 1/1 or something. That would be really problematic for us. Okay, so we can Ren in 6. Get back this Flooded Strand. Play the Flooded Strand. Crack it for an island right now while they're tapped out. And we can just go ahead and pass the turn. And now this has Death Touch. We have a Planeswalker in play that they're fairly likely to want to attack down. And we have a Batterskull that they don't know about. So, pretty reasonable shot that they're like, oh, they're going to put in a sword in a turn. But what we're actually going to do is put a Batterskull in combat. Now, they could have a Braid, obviously, or something like that to kind of mess this up. But I think we're probably at a point where, you know, we have to kind of live with that. So, activate this. Put this in. Go to blocks. I would like to block here and here. Yeah, so they will. There's still a reasonable chance. Maybe I should have flipped those around, actually. Looks like it doesn't even matter. Wow, okay. Reasonable chance I should have flipped those two around, just in case they, like, bolted this. But, okay, so they're just going to get back the Swift Spear right now. Okay, that's fine. Or the Kiln Fiend, I guess. Well, if we draw land... If we draw land and we get to equip the sword onto this, or I guess we have our Ren in 6, so we know we get to equip our sword on this. Wow, that's pretty huge, actually. So what if we... So then they would have to block with Kiln Fiend or just take the hit. Either one's pretty absurd for us, I guess. Guess we just get this back. Play it. Crack it. Now I don't want to tap this Stoneforge if I can avoid it. I think we're fine with just Island here. Play this out. Equip this here. Go ahead and attack with this. They can't block with Lurrus. They can't just block with Kiln Fiend and then just get it back. Yeah. But then, you know, we're still gaining a bunch of life, and their Kiln Fiend can't attack us this turn, which is probably pretty huge. We're also in a spot now where this having protection from black means they have to deal with the equipments themselves. Kolagon's Command is obviously not good for us. A Braid is obviously not good for us, but any ways that they could interact with the creature itself is now pretty solid for us. Could have been an argument for putting it on the Stoneforge. But what I don't like about that is then they're in a spot where they can, okay, they're drawing a bunch of cards. They can, wow, drawing a lot of cards. I guess this means at least they don't get to lure us back this Kiln Fiend, but now we're in a spot where this card attacking is gaining us so much life every turn. This can now... Okay, so I think I want to brainstorm first, actually. To see what we come up with. Okay, so we can put these two lands back safely and easily. We can then play this land out. We can answer one of these. Go to combat, attack with this. And then we can bolt the Lurrus after they make this block. looking pretty good here, obviously. Sword onto the batter's skull, meaning they can't answer it, is obviously great for us. Okay, yeah. And we're at 30, and we have a bunch of Planeswalkers in play. So that was pretty fantastic, obviously. Anything different on the draw? Probably not. We're about as lean as we can get right now, all things considered. Veil of Summer could be okay, but I think our problem is answering the permanents on the board, not answering the interaction that our opponents have. I think that's really where we end up losing, and so I don't really want to interact on the stack with this deck when, you know, we counter their Thoughtseize, but their Thoughtseize is still pumping their prowess creature to attack for like 3+ damage. You know, we're still not really winning at that point. We have to find a way to answer the cards on the board. Alright. That game was pretty sweet. That Batter Skull that I originally thought was a poor draw actually proved to be really good because they didn't know about it, so they attacked into it in a way that was, you know, profitable for us. And then the sword being able to latch onto that germ was pretty awesome as well too. Okay. Reveal Yorion. Let's see what we got. Man, our hands have just been... Our 7s have been hot garbage. Our 6s have not been too bad, but our 7s have just been, whew. Yeah, and it looks like this is going to continue. I think we have to put the Mystic Sanctuary on the bottom. Do we? So this probably has to get, like, Sacred Foundry? Yeah, I think it's probably that, which stinks, obviously, but, I think we have to make that call. Okay, so this is good because at least that's not a Thoughtseize. Or something to interact with our plays. Huh. I think it's going to be play this out, pass, and if this gets to be, well, assuming it's going to attack for at least 2 damage, then we can Lightning Bolt this in response to the first trigger. Okay. Wow, and nothing else? Man. Now we really need to rip a white or a red source, and we'll be in a super great spot here. So because of that, I am going to shock. If we get Sacred Foundry, then we can rip white or red source. They don't have another land, so this Lightning Helix would be fantastic for us, obviously. Let's see if we're lucky enough. Looks like we are. I'm just going to do this now. I just don't want to get caught up by any tricks or silly shenanigans like lava darts or something weird like that happening. And now we're in a spot where we kind of hope that they don't draw a land for a little bit and we can resolve some cool cards. That's probably our best possible. Probably best possible draw for that turn. It does get answered by Seal of Fire, which is a nuisance, but you know, I think that's fine. I am just going to take the Teferi because I think that if this gets answered by Seal of Fire, there's a reasonable chance that this Teferi comes down and there's not a whole lot they can do about it. I'm going to grab the Batter Skull here, even though I know this is probably going to get answered because we have a bunch of Planeswalkers in play and not much in the way of anything else for creatures to equip to a sword. This is probably going to... This could be like hit our face and light up the stage. No? Okay. That would have been awesome for us if that were the case. Okay, just another Seal of Fire. Alright, that's a bit of a bummer, but I guess we can play one of these out. Just go up with it. Try and find some more lands here. Not what we're in the mood for. Yeah, so really just hoping that we can keep them off lands while we kind of struggle to assemble anything reasonable in the sense of, like, you know, permanence on the board kind of thing. But any land this next turn means we can Jace and go up with it on them, try to keep them off more lands, which is obviously great for us. Swift Spear is annoying, because that means this Teferi is less likely to stick around if we don't draw a land. So I'm going to Stoneforge, grab our sword, and then go up with this. That's what I'm going to do. Now this Saheeli's pretty likely to die to a lightning bolt. Pretty likely to die to a lightning bolt, because they can then bolt this and attack with this, but then they'll have used a ton of resources and will be up a lot of cards. That's good for us, at least. Yeah, just go up with this. Really just looking for lands. A card like Path or Bolt would obviously be fine as well too, because then we'd be in a spot where at least we can, you know, answer this. We just are in kind of a world of hurt, because if they do just rip a couple lands off the top and they get to Lurrus, guess we have to keep that. Do we? So what does our next turn look like if we keep that? Our next turn is probably just like Renin 6, get a land, say go. Renin 6 is pretty likely to die. I think we're just in a market for actual lands, honestly, because I want to be able to cast all my spells, and if this dies to the Seal of Fire and then this dies to a Lightning Bolt, then we're looking at a Renin 6 on the board versus this, where it's pretty likely to die. Okay, them finding a land is pretty rough for us. There's a reasonable chance they have like tons of Thoughtseizes, Inquisitions, things like that to really, really wreck us here, and that could potentially be pretty bad. These two Seal of Fires are a bit of a problem as well too. So this is just gonna go like black, Thoughtseize. Yikes, that would be really rough. Yep, it looks like it is. Okay, so that's probably taking Teferi, I would imagine, at this point. Maybe it could just take the other Saheeli if they're really afraid of the combo, but yeah. So that's going to take that, and then this one will probably take the Saheeli. Yikes, yikes, yikes. Okay, so now we're in an absolute world of hurt. Because this takes care of that takes care of the Saheeli, and now our next turn is like basically nothing, and as soon as they rip lands and can get all of these back, we are really, really scared. I think we're unfortunately still just playing this out. I really don't want to play this. Oh, maybe I'm lying. I'm gonna play this Jace out and go up on them. Try and have a bit more of a distraction. They can have a Soulscour Mage. That's actually decent. I was really scared because, like, if they had even, like, a Lightning Bolt on top, it's tricky to keep it there, because we know that it gets to... I guess we don't know. We can assume that it means that this Jace gets completely answered, but... You know, I guess this is a decent one, but now we're looking for, like, Anger of the Gods off the top or something. Once again, our problem being that they still have creatures and Seal of Fires in the graveyard to get back with Lurrus, so this Lurrus is looming. Now we know they don't have a land to play it out this turn, so the good news that we have is that since they don't have a land to play Lurrus this turn, that next turn, even if they draw a land, we're going to be in an okay spot. Alright, well now they may draw a land. Clinging to Dust is such a strange card. It's just like one black draw card, and yet it's just super powerful. So yeah, our Jace is getting completely answered, and that's a problem. But we know that they have... So we know they have... whatchamacallit, the Soulscour Mage in hand. Land? Yikes. I think we have to just play this out. I think we need to get more out of this Anger of the Gods. Obviously that sucks if they rip like discard spell, but I think we're kind of in the spot where we need to try and tag the Lurrus almost with this Anger. Okay, really, really hoping they... Dang it. I was really hoping they would try to just run out the Lurrus so next turn they can start to get some value out of it. Play out your Soulscour. Play out your Soulscour. Okay, so they only have one card left. Oh, the last card is Soulscour. So now... Their last card is Soulscour. What if we... Felidar Bounce Oath? Is there a way that we die next turn? Probably through some strange change of like Manamorphose or something like that. Might be our best bet though. Even if we eat all this stuff right now, they still get to lure us back something if they draw a land. So I'm just going to go after this. Because finding a land is actually pretty good for us. Okay, I'll just take, I guess, Flooded Strand. Play that out. And go ahead and pass the turn. So we know that they have Soul Scour Mage in hand. So kind of hoping that they rip a land, so they just go like land Lurrus back this Swift Spear. That would actually be like best case scenario for us, because then we can use Anger to just take care of everything. They could also, if they're afraid of the combo, just like, you know, try to Lurrus back this Seal of Fire or something. If they don't have a land, okay, they did draw a land. Okay, so that is good for us. If they go for Seal of Fire here to try and get in more damage, it's not great for us, but then, you know, our Anger gets to clean everything up except for this last Soul Scour Mage. So I think we're in a good spot. We are going to take a decent chunk of damage here, however. So this is probably going to stick around just so they don't get combo killed. I'm just going to fetch this out right now. I guess we have everything. Like blue-white is probably what we're looking for. We have double red. Have everything else. I guess we can just get the Triome, huh? That's probably why this is here. Yeah. Go ahead and pass. And since we know their last card, we should be in a really, really good spot. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And they can't even attack with this? Oh, wow. Okay, I was thinking it was off of a non-creature spell. I don't want to just let this die. Now, the sad part is when we do Anger here, they are going to get to Seal of Fire this in response. So maybe we... Yeah, let's just attack first. Could have like equipped this, I suppose. That's fine. I don't mind them gaining some life or whatever. That's totally fine. All this was going to happen anyway. I suppose, actually maybe that was a misplay, because now we're in a spot where this does not mean they have to fire off the Seal of Fire, so they get to keep that in play. That actually was a misplay then. I should have done that in a different order. But, I mean, we have a path to be able to answer this Soul Scour Mage, which is good. We have a Batter Skull to be able to hopefully put into play. That's a bit of a rough draw, because if that draws another creature, we could be kind of scared. Cling to Dust, okay. I mean, that eats something, but we only have one Mystic Sanctuary, and it's pretty unlikely that we're in the market to try and buy back something at this point, so that's fine. Yep. So yeah, I definitely should have equipped. Had I thought about that, I would have realized that equipping would have also protected it from... Oh man, and then we could have attacked it. Wow, okay. The more I think about that last turn, the more I realize I really punted, because we could have equipped, then Anger of the Gods. Then we could have got in and attacked with this sword, untapped all of our lands, and we would already have a Batter Skull in play. So, obviously that's a bit of a misplay. But it is what it is. We'll keep moving on. We'll just play this. I'm not going to play this land out. I think we're at a point where, like, you know, if they rip something off the top, it's fine. Like a discard spell or something like that. And playing and having an extra land in play doesn't let us bounce this or equip or anything any sooner, because having 5 mana in play means that we can still, like, go to equip, we can still pay to bounce this and whatnot, so. Okay, so they're looking at their top cards, seeing if it's something they need right now. We still know they have a Soul Scour Mage. We still know they have one of those. So we still have not played one of those out. So that's, I believe, the last card we know about. Maybe I'm incorrect in that? They don't have like a revealed Soulscar Mage anywhere? Maybe I'm wrong. Well, we definitely punted that away. We should have a Felidar Guardian in play with a sword on it, which obviously matters a hefty amount. And we should have already been able to attack with this Batterskull. Yeah, so, of course, gonna get pretty max punished here. Yeah, when they rip this, and then their last card's gonna be something else. Okay, so I was just wrong about their last card, which I don't know how I made that mistake. Now it looks like we are just going to play out Yorion. And just go ahead and... It doesn't really matter, we'll just bounce that one. Bit of a bummer we can't get a little more out of it, but... Oh well. Now we're looking for some action. Let's see what we can get. Jace is pretty good. Jace is pretty good. So they have one card in hand, plus a draw step, Seal of Fire, and this. So, are we in the spot where we need to block? Maybe? If they attack, it's pretty scary. Yeah, I'm going to block because this does not get pumped toughness at all. So we are, at the very least, trading. Okay. That's not good for us. Now, still in the market for quite a bit here. So they are attacking, so maybe they're just trying to trade this with Seal of Fire. But it's not like if we equip this that we get to attack with it next turn anyway. We're dead to it being like Lightning Bolt. We know they can cast Cling to Dust. We know they can do that, so I think we have to block, because otherwise they could just Cling. How many Clings are they playing? Are they playing like all 4? There's 3 in the graveyard, so they might be. It's kind of nuts, but... at least this means, in this situation, that we get to trade, which is a big deal. But, obviously I've made a couple mistakes this game. I think we should have just won. Yeah, so they're just going to Cling right now. We should have just won, because we could have very easily... You know, this Seal of Fire should not be in play, basically. We could have made them sack that, or we could still have Felidar Guardian in play. Both of which would obviously be fantastic for us. So just going to get the Batterskull out of the way. Well, now we're hoping to draw, what, like a Felidar Guardian is good because it blinks this and we can equip the sword to it immediately without it dying to seal. That's the kind of card we're looking to draw here, I guess. Not a whole ton else that's really fantastic. So keep one, yep. Fairy's really awkward, but I guess it's our take. It's awkward because it has to go up, I think. Or maybe we just cash it in for... Nah, we can't now because of the way that Oh, we only had 1 green, so I guess I couldn't have. Yeah, we gotta just go up. If they have a Lightning Bolt or something to be able to take care of this, then that's... I guess the spot that we're in, and there's not a whole ton we can do about it. I'm once again not going to play this land out for the same reason. I wouldn't mind getting like an Inquisition or something out of their hand if they draw it. Them just having a bunch of Cling to Dust here is annoying because they are just redraws at this point. Yeah, so it looks like they're just going to start casting Cling. I guess they have 11 cards in their graveyard, so they only really get 1 more Cling outside of this, but it is just like... You know, 4 mana draw card at this point, which is obviously pretty good for them. We'll see what they rip. Kind of hoping it's like a Kiln Fiend or something. Something where this Teferi can have some level of text, even if it trades with this Seal of Fire, just so we can like draw some cards at this point. I just think that we really, really are in the need of some card draw. I guess that counts. I don't like that it draws them a card, but there's a decent chance this is something they can't play. Manamorphose. Okay, so they can't play it, so that's good. So they do have a land and Soulscar. Okay. Well, that is pretty problematic for us. Now we're looking for same stuff, I guess, as before, huh? And Anger of the Gods would be a pretty fantastic rip-off of this. Okay, that's not great. I wonder if we need to just cash this in to just bounce this and draw a card. It's going to die next turn, so I think so. So let's just draw an extra 2 cards. Yikes. Come on. Okay. Get this island into place so that our next fetch can find something, I guess. And then I think we just do this now. Hate that that gets stuck on. White. Stop it. Red. And we'll just take care of this one right now, because otherwise they can draw cards at instant speed and try and answer some of our stuff. I just don't want that to happen. Well, this game's definitely interesting. We are at 12 still. They are at... Oh, they're at 2. Oh my gosh. Michael. Oh my goodness. Okay, so we should have won this game like 3 separate times, and I am just... Oh my gosh. I mean, I guess we're drawing to bolts and lightning helixes. Those are all obviously fantastic for us. Maybe they might just like cling just to gain 3 life here, so they're not dead to those, and then we're just gonna be super upset about that. Yeah, that looks like that's what's happening. I guess they could draw a card off of it potentially too, but it looks like at this point you want to just take out the Yorion and make sure that that you gain 3 life, or the Felidar Guardian. Wow. I'm just throwing this all over the place. Oh, they are going after Lightning Helix. Okay, so we still have plenty of live draws, but... Oh my gosh, if we lose this one, it's 110% on me. 110%. We also have the positive of, like, you know, everything that we... Every non-land we draw is basically pretty solid for us at this point. Coatl's not great, but, you know, everything else, yeah, that's pretty good. So, I guess... we can just... turn this into white. Felidar Guardian. Blink this. Now, obviously we cannot combo them this turn because of this Seal of Fire in play, and they have an unknown card, so there's a decent chance that that could mess us up too, but still, we'll blink this, we'll use this. No! No, 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 my God. Oh, Michael, stop. Why are you trying so hard to chuck this? Why are you trying so hard to chuck this? Oh, man, I'm so annoyed with myself right now. Man, if we win this game after me throwing away 3 wins with it, essentially, that's gonna be pretty impressive. Not gonna lie. Okay, so that has to have been their draw. They can only cling if they start sacrificing their lands too. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. So maybe. But man, I just... This is a sloppy video. Here's where you're gonna notice. Oh, it looks like, you know, some people like to upload their wins and not upload their losses, kind of thing. This is where you're gonna see straight up. Nope. Just when I make the video, I upload it. Period. That's it. Yikes. Well, this game has definitely been super interesting. Obviously, I mean, we got our essentially close to burn prowess deck down to only 24 cards in library, as well as you know, 5 minutes left on the clock. So it seems pretty fine here. So, can we block? If we block, they... Well, we can't afford to not block, I suppose, because of Cling, so we have to block. And it looks like we're just dead to like a lightning bolt or something. Once again, pretty big misplays here, but it is what it is. Yes, this is Exile 5, right? Yeah, but they could do this and then that. Yeah, so we would have died if we didn't block. So this looks like it might be... Yikes. Okay. Alright. Yeah, looks like we are going to lose this game. Okay. Well. I mean, we hucked it. We definitely did. Now the good news is this is still not dead unless they Sealifire this. Okay, so they are going to Sealifire it. That's fine. So do we crack this? I don't know that the thinning is relevant. And we could draw to like a... No, we can't draw to Jace. So yeah, I guess we do crack this. And now neither of us know what's on top. Alright. Give me something. They have a draw, we have a draw. Come on. Okay. That's a redraw. And if they don't have a removal spell, keeps us alive. Okay. Now I need to be careful with my clicks here. Okay, take another Ice Fang. That we cannot cast. Yikes. Oh, could I have found a basic forest with that last card? I think I could have. Let me check and see. Do I have another basic forest? Do I just have one? Yeah, I do. So I could have found another basic forest. That was a pretty big misplay. We're probably going to die for that one too. I mean, we only deserve it at this point, right? It's been a pretty atrocious match. We have just thrown this game to our opponent like 6, 7, 8 times over at this point. So we deserve to lose. That's for certain. Is a little awkward that we drew 3 green cards in a row, obviously, but, you know, that's what it is. Okay, well, they're going to make us have it, and we don't, so that's a bit of a bummer for sure. Yep. So this looks like it is going to be bolt your face and you're done. That's a bummer, because we definitely should have won this, like I said, multiple different times. But, you know, is what it is. Okay, Cling and then Cling again does not kill us. Are they just... Maybe they don't have it and we're super lucky? Or something? I'd be pretty surprised if I got lucky and made it out of this one alive. Maybe it's... What else could they have? Like Lava Dart or something? I'm trying to think, like, what could they have that still makes us lethal besides just Lightning Bolt? Because Lightning Bolt, obviously, but Cling doesn't do it here. We shall see. Well, they haven't cast it yet, which makes me feel like they don't have it, but that, you know, that would be a little bit wild if they didn't. Have just a ton of draws at this point. I mean, it's kind of silly. I mean, this game's just been absurd, honestly, at this point. Like, there's no reason for us to be around, and there's also no reason that we shouldn't have won, like, 15 minutes ago. It's kind of just nuts. Alright, we'll see what they got. K-Command? K-Command would do it, right? Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, K-Command would do it. But if this is just Cling, I mean, they tap 4 mana, so it looks like it's just another Cling. Wow! They didn't have it. They didn't have it. I mean, we're still dead to a Lightning Bolt off the top if we don't rip something. Okay, so they just gained life instead of drawing. So, alright. I feel like they have something to kill us that they couldn't use that turn. Like, maybe it's Seal of Fire or something. It'd be so disappointed now when we died at like Seal of Fire or something. Well, shoot. You know, we did what we could. And by that I mean, you know, I threw away 3 wins all in one game, but, you know, we tried. How many creatures do they still have left? Do they still have creatures left? This looks like they're just going to start clinging again to try and find this lightning bolt, which seems fair. So they're through 1, 2... Alright, they're through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 creatures. Probably don't have many more left. Okay. Well, 1 is the Sing, right? So this can try to find Mystic Sanctuary. But, I mean, we're dead to push. We're dead to, I mean, just tons of things at this point. But this can Mystic Sanctuary back, like, I don't know, Lightning Bolt to try and keep us alive, maybe? Maybe? Pretty unlikely, though. I mean, they're not through all their bolts. There's no way they took them all out. So they're just waiting until they find 1, right? Thoughtseize. Okay. Well, let's see if they have removal spell. Pretty reasonable chance that they do, because otherwise they wouldn't really want to Thoughtseize themselves down to 3, but now if they don't have a removal spell, we can kill them here. If they don't have a removal or burn, I should say. We do get to kill them, because this finds Mystic Sanctuary, but as justice would serve, it does appear that they have a thing. Alright. So, we hucked that one really, really poorly, and then also drew really poorly after throwing it away. So we'll see what we had. A redraw, into another redraw, into another land. So we were miles away from getting bailed out of that horrendous situation that I put us in. So that's a bit of a bummer, to say the least, but, you know, sometimes you just, you throw things back and forth. Looked like our opponent was in a spot where they really shouldn't have, it shouldn't have even been a game, and I thought they should have gained life earlier, and then they gained life at exactly the right time, and then of course we ripped the card. So the lightning bolts. You know, it was definitely interesting, but you know, the deck won. I lost. I was just not paying very good attention there. So that's, I mean, it stinks. You know, it definitely stinks, especially when you're in leagues where winning is actually like a profitable thing instead of just, you know, the fun side of the game as well too. But, you know, the deck was really cool. I definitely enjoy it, so I can't say I didn't have fun in that last one, but I can say that I should have won and chucked that to my opponent instead. So, you know, it is what it is. It is what it is. Well, hopefully, you know, that's gonna teach me the lesson. You know, pay attention. What's my opponent's life total at? What's my life total at? What are some things that I can do, like, you know, grabbing an extra green source? You know, when I only have 1 green source in play and I have a bunch of islands. I didn't open up the zoom on the grabbing the lands window, and had I done that, I probably would have seen, oh, there's, you know, a forest in here, and we already have plenty of islands, but, you know, sometimes you just, you don't pay much attention. That's what happened to me. Alrighty. Let's see where we're up against here. Our opponent's first. I'm always afraid when clicking on these companions that I'm going to accidentally not reveal or something, and that just stinks. Okay, Gigantha. This could be a variety of things. Could be Tron, could be humans, or could potentially be like 5-color Niv. I think this hand's fine because it kind of has a spread against all of those. Like, against humans, we have a removal spell in the potential combo. Against Tron, we're going to have to likely run this out right away. Yeah, we're going to have to run this out right now. This, you know, fetch for a, I guess, a Temple Garden. Maybe it's, I guess it's got to be Breeding Pool, huh? Yeah, we have Breeding Pool, and we're just going to try and race. See what we can do. Hope this finds us a Saheeli. Well, it does. So we've got them dead on 4. The problem is the Tron deck typically assembles on turn 3 and then does something traumatic to you that turn. So we kind of just have to hope that they're on like Gigantha as their, turn 3 threat or something like that is kind of the spot that we're in. Which is definitely a little awkward. So next turn is going to be play out Triome, pass. Turn after that will be play Island, Saheeli off those 3. And then, fortunately, since Triome is in fact an island, our Mystic Sanctuary will enter the battlefield untapped. And we're hoping they whiff off a Tron land here. If they're 1 turn late on their Tron, we could be fine. Just 1 turn, that's all we need. Expedition maps. So maybe, there is a chance. We'll see what Tron land they play here. Okay, so now we're really hoping they don't just have the other one in hand. That's the spot that we're at. If they do, there's probably not much we can do. We're kind of just out of luck. So we will still play this. We'll pass. Now, having like a mana leak or a remand would have been a decent draw there because there could be a shot that they're trying to, do something else. But like, okay, so it's just gonna be crack, assemble. Okay, and we're just in a spot where we have to hope they don't have a big fat thing to put into play. That's all it is. This is all fine. I don't think we're in a spot where we can hope to, like, turn 4 this into turn 5 this. I think we're just having to race. So we'll see. They had a lot of good stuff here. Their hand was definitely pretty fantastic. They did keep a 6, which in Tron typically means you're dead. Karn the Great Creator. Well, that can get Pithing Needle, actually. Yikes. I think we still have to play Saheeli out, though. So, my hope is that their play here is, like, Pithing Needle to Saheeli, and then we can get them by, like, bolting the Karn down and finding a way to get rid of it or something. Maybe, like, if we rip it to Teferi, we could, like, Teferi, play it, and then hope to, like, the turn after that one on turn 5, like, bounce the Pithing Needle. I don't know. We're not in a good shape by any means. Quite the opposite. So if they Karn the Great Creator... they could also just have something bigger than Karn, right? They could have... I guess not Ulamog. They could have Ugin or Big Karn or, something like that. Which... those plays would be pretty hard for us to deal with as well, too. Good news is if they have Big Karn and they down tick it, we get to get rid of it. Okay, so we do get to get rid of that card. But it definitely stinks, because if they take this away from us like they should, yeah, so... yeah, not good for us here, obviously. Not good. Okay, so we can... I like going... Astrolabe... Bolt, Land, Stoneforge, and then when our Felidar Guardian comes down next turn, it'll have better things to bounce, primarily this Arkham's Astrolabe, or if we draw like a counter spell here, that could be pretty good for us. No, okay. Well, I guess we can just... so if we play this one out, we can filter through and then bolt. Yeah, that's fine. So we'll filter for white mana, we'll cast this. And then we'll bolt that Karn. We have to get Batterskull, because Karn the Great Creator does shut off our ability to turn this sword on. So that's not good for us. But maybe there's a world where this Mystic Sanctuary like puts our bolt back on top. We then draw the bolt and then we can bolt the KGC or something strange like that. If it goes down to find something, maybe. Once again, we're still just at a point where, we're dead to big fatties, right? All their big stuff is pretty awful for us. If I guess they can't have Walking Ballista in their main, so that's good at least for us, that they can't have that to disrupt the combo, but we're dead to quite a few things, and they have a ton of redraws, so be pretty surprised if we make it out of this one in a fine spot. Blast Zone's not good for us either. Okay, yep, so here comes Karn. Okay, so what does this grab? They have 6 mana, could be... Okay, Sundering Titan. So that's not good. That gets... actually all of our lands? Like, actual all of them? Yikes. Well, shoot. Nah, I guess that's not true. We get to leave our forest in play, but, all but one of our lands, so... What if we Mystic Sanctuary back the Lightning Bolt, blue-green Coatl, Lightning Bolt, and we can hold up activation on this, and then we'll still have this to get a white land to pat the Sundering Titan? That might be our best line. But we're going to be down to, like, Forest Mystic Sanctuary, or Forest Island, probably. Yikes. I definitely don't like it, but... Oh, wait, can we even... Shoot! We can't even do that because this shuts off... No, I guess we can because we have to just do it in the correct order. Sorry, I was thinking this shuts off our artifact from being able to filter, and we need it to. But we can kill this first, and then we can hold up Batterskull. Yikes. This is not really a winning battle at this point, but I think it's where we have to be. And we'll just pass. And now that that's gone, we can filter through and do this, but they get to Sundering Titan, go like Forest, Mountain, Island. Yeah, and just completely get us with it. Leave us with 2 lands. This puts us up to a 3rd. If we can find a way into another land, we might be okay. But this probably goes to 2 here. And then... Oh, it's just going to 1 right now? I mean... So we'll just put this in right now. Wait, what? Turn this into white. Activate. Put this into play. Interesting. I would have thought they would have just gone up to, like, that. But I guess since they're going to be nuking all our lands, getting rid of this is appealing. But the fact that we have this land here to find, like, Sacred Foundry, so we'll still have all of our colors, is pretty good, I guess. I mean... We're just hoping to rip land after land after land, basically, at this point. Because if we rip a land, we can... You know, next turn is going to be have to get rid of this Sundering Titan. That's just the spot that we're in. Or they just have that. Well... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I guess, I mean, we can... Now if they don't have anything else here, we can actually rip Saheeli, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, we can rip Saheeli and win. Did not do it. Alright, yeah, and now that Sundering Titan's just going to be it. Could play out like Yorion, but, you know, we're just not going to be able to, come back from that at this point, I think. So we're looking for these for certain. These are not great. I don't think we need, like, mystical disputes or anything. That seems a little bit silly. This Oath of Chandra can for sure come out. And probably just a lightning bolt, I guess. Yeah, just a lightning bolt. I know that, like, had some action for us where it, like, finished off Planeswalkers, but I think what's more likely is that we need to have Path to Exiles in order to answer the creatures like the Worm Coils and the Sundering Titans and whatnot. Potentially Ulamogs. It's not great for us, but it might be a spot that we're in. And then also Path answers Giganta, and Lightning Bolt does not. So, yeah, I think this is where we need to be. We were pretty close there. Maybe there's a consideration for if I would have... No, it wouldn't have mattered because they drew Ugin, but if I would have played out the Felidar Guardian, we could have potentially gone Blink Oath, try to find Saheeli, and then even if they kill us, our land lets us cast Saheeli to kill them. But once again, pretty unlikely that we get through with that, especially since they just, they drew the Ugin and got us with it, so wouldn't have worked, but maybe there's a consideration for just making that line of play and just hoping to kill them that turn. The next turn, I guess, but still. Okay, make sure we reveal that. I'm always worried that I'm gonna, like, not reveal that on accident. Yikes. No bueno. Okay, well, this hand's fine. I think we just ship the Path, probably, actually. I think we're in for shipping the Path. I don't really care about Giganta with this hand, so... So sequencing here on lands is going to be interesting. So, I kind of want to grab... If we grab, like, Steam Vents and then Forest, maybe? That doesn't cast this, so maybe it's... Oh, I guess we can grab the Triome, huh? Yeah, so we'll grab that. And then we can grab Forest with this. And that lets us Ice Fang, Lightning Bolt, and Felidar. It's all good. I think we can just play this one out. Yeah, because we'll have all 4 colors. Really need to draw some piece of interaction. Mana Leak, Remand, anything at all at this point is really what we're looking for. Make sure we grab that. Run this out. Okay, not what we're looking for, obviously. Yikes. Okay, well. Somebody upstairs saw our 2-land hand and went, hey, you need some lands. And they delivered, I will say that much. So I guess... I guess it's just play one of these fetch lands. Yeah, that way we can potentially, like, grab Island or something if we need to, play out another one and hold up Lightning Bolt if their play is like Karn this turn or something. Because Karn's definitely not great against us here. It would get to eat our Triome, which would suck. But we would trade Lightning Bolt and Triome for Karn. And maybe they don't have more payoffs? Maybe, we can hope. I don't know, our hand is not shaped up super well for this matchup. I think this could be a pretty tricky one if we don't just have a super aggressive combo draw, of which we obviously do not here, so that makes it pretty awkward for us. Oh, they never cracked their thing end of turn. Whoa. So they don't have Tron here? Interesting. I wonder if that was a mistake or not. Okay. Well, I'm gonna grab Steam Vents with this. Obviously, we're making ourselves weak to like a Sundering Titan, but I mean, we're gonna be pretty weak to Sundering Titan regardless, I think. It's just gonna get the 4-color deck pretty good. I'll make sure we go ahead and drop this bad boy in there. These Coatls sitting on the board do make Karns awkward, which is at least good for us. Man, so we actually haven't drawn a non-land this whole game? Through turn 4 plus double draw? That's all we've had? Yikes. Yikes, yikes, yikes. Well... can't really beat anything. That's the problem. We just can't really beat anything. So I think I'm gonna have to attack with both these. So do this. Next turn they can Karn the Great Creator, have 4 mana left up still. Still reveal Giantha, right? Okay, good. We can just get planes here, I guess. Play this out, try and blink one of those. Part of me hopes they, like, dismember one of these or something in response. That'd be kind of cool. No, not gonna happen. Okay, fine. Gosh, dang it! Oh, why does it have to be like that? We just draw it at the worst time. Still not cracking it. So they just have it in hand, huh? Interesting. 8, yeah, so they have Big Ugin. So the good news is this lightning bolt gets to answer that. Bad news is we have actually nothing else going on. Just so awkward. If we would have drawn that one card sooner, now we draw more lands. Yikes, yikes, yikes. Okay, so I gotta do that. No. And now at least we can, like, I don't know. I don't know what our plan is here. We can't even tag this Karn the Great Creator. Decent chance they just have bigger things anyway. We've just drawn pretty poor this game, obviously. Just not a whole ton for us to do about it. Yep, hopefully this isn't Sanctum of Ugin. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They would have 7 mana. Cavern of Souls? Oh my goodness. Ugh, this is gonna be Karn the Great Creator. Oh. They have World Breakers in their deck? Is that what this is? No way. No way! Man, that card's such a wild inclusion. Oh my god. They have Cavern of their... What is this Tron deck? They have Caverns and World Breakers. I have never seen that before. Yeah, we just drew more lands. My goodness. Yeah, we're just going to have to scoop it out. Well, we went through, 6 draw phases plus 3 extra draws, drew 9 cards, hit 1 non-land. Yikes. There's not much we can do about that. You just kind of have to chalk that one up and go, well, I don't think I really made any mistakes. Unlike that first game where I, tried repeatedly to hand the game to my opponent multiple times over and, successfully found a way to do so after many attempts for my opponent to draw poorly. And that was completely different. That was just a situation where I just, I didn't really make any choices that mattered and just kind of flooped over to the side while my opponent just had all their fun. So at least somebody got to do some cool stuff. Like, I'm sure they're thinking, man, that sick Cavern inclusion was sweet. When in all reality, the fact that they were exiling our land was probably enough. But it is what it is. There's not a whole lot to be said about it outside of that. We are kind of just hoping to run into some more Lurrus opponents and not chuck some games away and see what we can do against them. But we'll see what the field looks like. Modern's in a pretty strange spot right now. The decks are kind of all over the place. So we'll see. We shall see what our opponents come up with, assuming we find an opponent. Assuming that somebody is willing to take the close to free wins that I have been handing out so far. Oh, man. Rough one, rough one, rough one. What do we want to play against? I guess, like, I don't know, something where Veil of Summer has reasonable text. considering it's a 4-0 in our sideboard. Those are probably the matchups that we enjoy. We shall see. Man, 2 minutes in the queue. Is no one else losing today? Is that what's going on? Everyone else is just too busy winning? Everyone else is like, whoops, this 0-2 bracket, I'm done. Whereas me, I'm like, nah, let's go 0-2-3-0. Let's just do it. 0-2-3-0. Gotta get those fabulous 3-2s. I've got a pretty high percent of 3-2s. It's been pretty fantastic. 3-2s and 2-3s are kind of my home at this point in these leagues. You know, I'll occasionally crack that 4-1, get a little lucky here or there kind of thing, but 3-2s and 2-3s are where I make my money, even though, you know, 2-3s actually lose you money. But regardless, it's been my place so far. Alright, finally found someone. Finally found some sucker who's clearly not aware of our awesome skill and ability over here. He's decided to queue up against us. Oh, bosh. Okay. Well, this is a keep. We get to kill their mana dork, which is kind of good. So I'm going to play this out. Do I want to just... Yeah, I guess we can put an abundant growth on this right now. Sure, why not? Just draw our card now, I suppose. Get that sweet value. It's a fairy, okay. That might not be the worst. Hoping they go on dork. Okay, sweet, they did. So now we can take care of this dorko. Gotcha! Whoo, with the sick tech of Oath of Chandra. You know, at the beginning of this, I said, Corey Baumeister, I don't know about this card. I really don't know. But, you know, I've been proved wrong. I've clearly been proven wrong. Really hoping this turn is just like play another elf go. That would be awesome. But it looks like it's going to be something a little different. We shall see. Alright. Enchantment on there. I don't like that they fetched first because that tells me they have more to do with this. That's a bit of a bummer. No, they don't, huh? Interessante. So this is probably getting like pillaged, right? They put this on red. Actually, they fetched a basic, so we're probably getting Blood Mooned. So in that case, I'm going to fetch a basic. Although Blood Moon is definitely far from great against us here, but still. I'm going to go ahead and Teferi bounce on this. Could lose the Teferi to a Lightning Bolt, but just stomp in our face in response. I mean, sure. Sure. Stomp away, opponent. Stomp away. So I'm going to bounce that. Just sets them back a little bit and gives us another card. And then since we have these Felidar Guardians, we can potentially Felidar Guardian blink this, bounce another thing, which is kind of cool. So if they have a land, it doesn't actually, like, it doesn't really do much considering they can't have even cards. Because this means they still get to, like, have 3 mana this turn, assuming they have a land. But if they don't have a land, then we're in a really good spot. Ooh. It appears... Okay, they do. Do, in fact, have a land. Okay. That's fine. I think we just... Oh, now I want to do this. I'm going to Oath. Let's take... Jeez. My only consideration was we wouldn't have to shock to cast this if we were really cool and took a forest there, but I think that'd be a little bit crazy at this point. So what do we got? You got it. You got it. I think I am going to shock to put this into play at this point. Yeah, I think it's okay. Us taking damage here is obviously not like fantastic against the possibly impending Obosh, I suppose, but you know, we got a decent amount of ways to take some stuff off the table, so we're just hoping to, yeah, see, like that lightning bolt. So that can take care of that in response to the Obosh, potentially. Ooh, I hadn't realized they still had not played a land. Tricky, tricky opponent. Tricky, tricky opponent. So what if we play a land, oath this, take 2, kill that. What if we do all that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They can still play out the Obosh. But they play out the Obosh and then it does nothing, so that's kind of cool. What if we attack, blink it, draw a card, and plan to just kill this anyway? Yeah, I like that, actually. That's fine. Now, they could, like, lightning bolt the Coatl in response or something, but then that's a lightning bolt that's not going towards, like, a Saheeli or something at that point, which is probably good for us. So we're just getting our free chip damage. Super cool. Really just get them here. Yep. And go ahead and do this. Now, the fact that they pause for so long and they're not doing this, I'm curious if that's because they want to fetch in a turn or if that's because they have a lightning bolt. Could be either, I suppose. So they didn't have a lightning bolt there. Now do we want to just bolt like this and then plan to try and kill this? I don't hate that, actually. Just cut them off a little bit more mana. Yeah, let's just do that. Now we have this thing in here with Death Touch. They have to use some sort of removal spell to take it off the table or else it does get to trade with this, which is pretty good here. Now, if they go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If they go land, lightning bolt, Obosh, that is where we get into some trouble. But outside of that exact sequence, we're probably in an okay spot. And this Jace is online to be able to shuffle and whatnot, which is kind of cool. If we really need, we can, like... I guess this can't fetch a Mystic Sanctuary, that's a bummer. Oh, is that another stomp? Oh, they're just going after White Sword? I mean, that's an interesting choice of land to hit. I guess they're going to try and, like... Weird. Oh, it turns off Death Touch. Ah, I see. Cool. Well, we will not block. You got us, opponent. You went and done got us. Well, we will play out this fetch next turn to make sure that we can still have access. Okay, so this looks like it's just going to be play out the other one. Ooh, Seasoned Pyromancer. Draw 2. That's pretty sick. That is pretty sick. Yikes, we're drawing some Garbo here for sure. For sure. Now, I guess going down a land is a little awkward. Hold on, do we want to? So now I'm thinking we do this. Yep. Blink it. Go after this. Don't take damage because it's an ability, not a spell, like a champ. And just go ahead and pass the turn. So they do have access to some decent stuff. But we can turn on Death Touch if we need to. We have 2 Felidar Guardians, so now throwing one in the way of something is not the end of the world. And if we get to untap, we can Jace plus still have this fetch land up to get rid of these 2 other lands, which is pretty good. We also are in a spot, I guess, where Yorian's pretty wild. Maybe that's just what we do, honestly. Wow, Yorian would be... Oh, man. What am I thinking? We just Yorian him. Get to, like, blink, 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 blink. Oh my gosh, we draw so many cards. We get to, like, kill their board. Wow. Okay, sorry. Sometimes I forget that we have cool cards. And that's pretty fantastic. This looks like it's Obosh. Yep, it is indeed. So, can we kill Obosh? How is this all going to work? All comes back at end step. We just have to set the triggers in the right way, I guess. Right? Is all we have to do? Yeah, I mean... Well, I'll block. I'm fine with you, like, exiling that later on. So they get to kill one of these. That's okay. That is A-okay. Alrighty. And I'm not gonna fetch yet, I suppose. So does that change what we want to do? Can we shock? I think we might have to. Okay, so we'll go get a basic here. Forest. I do think we want to shock, which is a little scary, but... Oh wait, I want to attack first. What am I doing? So we'll do this. Bounce, 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 and bounce. This might be one of the most wild turns I'll have in a long time. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, so we gotta make sure we do all this right. So all this entered. Attach to this one, I guess. Okay. Ooh. I didn't think about that. Okay, this stacked them in the correct way. Oh, no. It's asking me to stack them. So I want this to be last. I guess this one to be last. Then... No, I don't want that one to be last. I guess I can. It'll just choose this. Okay, that. Then draw a card. Draw a card. 3 to Obosh. Both of this. Okay. Any order. Yep. Draw a card. Path. Okay, now I'm wishing we would have done that in the other order, I suppose. Draw cards and then whatever. Draw another card. Blink this. Yes. Draw another card. Okay, and I guess we can just bolt this now. Okay. Now we're in a spot where we just hope to not die to, like, double lightning bolt or something silly. Sweet! Wow, that turn was nuts. Alright, gotta pay attention to my triggers a little better. We could have played a little bit smarter there, potentially. Man, what do we want here? Maybe it's just, like, helixes. Could be... Actually, angers. I do enjoy anger here. It doesn't actually deal with Obosh, but it deals with everything else, which is kind of cool. So kind of like that. What are we not huge fans of here? This sort of Feast and Famine's probably not great, which probably means that we can trim on like two stone forges too. Ooh, excuse me. The Batterskull's probably fine. It's not like fantastic, but it's fine. But the Feast and Famine doesn't seem great, considering most of their creatures are actually red. And so we don't actually get through with that, unfortunately. Wow, that was absurd. I cannot believe how that game went for us. Okay, can't keep this one, unfortunately. Cannot. Mulligan. And this one will have to be a keep. I guess... This is real awkward. I guess it's gonna be Oath. I wonder what we... What do we get with this? Might be mountain or plains, one of those two. I don't like that we don't get to kill this Arbor Elf. Definitely don't like that. Okay, so now it tells me mountain. Okay. Because we drew a white fetch, we can grab mountain. And then cast this. Draw a card and say go. Now we're just hoping to not get like Stone Rained out of the game. This deck has really turned into more of like a mid-range deck than it has like a Ponza deck. So it's not a whole lot of just like, you know, get you with get you with Blood Moons and all that kind of stuff. Why do I choose to speak the words that I do? In that sense, we should have played this first and got Plains, I guess. I'm just a little surprised, I guess, that they kept that in against us. Okay, well, it is what it is. Let's draw us a card. Let's play this one out, because technically, once we get rid of that Blood Moon, it will be the only tap land we really have. So I guess I'm going to go Breeding Pool into Go or something. Kind of hoping they just like play out some dorks. Don't want them to just play out Obosh. Would not mind them just being like, yeah, here's, you know, stomp ya, play a thing or something like that. Something that dies to anger would be pretty fantastic for us. Looks like it's Obosh though. Oh. Oh, okay. No. That is much better for us. Now, obviously, I don't enjoy the fact that they just drew 2 cards, but the fact that our anger has text is pretty good. So we'll go ahead and do that. Probably the best card for us to anger, actually. So we'll take care of everything there. 1, 2, 3, 4. So now they could potentially Obosh us. Yeah, that stinks. Whoa! That was one of their draws, huh? That's... Yikes, that's a pretty big bummer. Now what are we looking for here? Yikes! So what are we doing? One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I guess it's just this, bounce this. So they can't, like, Obosh try to kill us? Oh my goodness. All lands, huh? All lands. Well, man, we are in a pretty rough shape still. So this comes down and kills Teferi, and then the unfortunate part is that when they Obosh the turn after this Exert can still kill our Yorion. Because we're probably going to have to Yorion here. Oh, they just went in our face? Ooh, okay. So now, I guess their goal is Obosh us this turn, hope to kill us. But we can flash that in. Can scry. That one obviously goes to the bottom. We'll pass. And now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you'd have to have land Lightning Bolt into Obosh now to kill us. And so there comes Obosh. Now after they attack, we get to put this into play. Make blue, make green, and these are really fortunate to be snow permanents for us because without these snow basics, this would not have Death Touch. So we'll draw a card, go to blocks. I would absolutely love to block. Okay. Now we're still not quite out of the woods here, I suppose. I mean, Yorian's good. There's no doubt about that. Oof, that's a pretty good draw for us. Let's just scry here. Put this to the bottom. This goes up. So now, what do we want to do? So we can instant speed Anger plus Bolt. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana. Or we can Yorian draw 1, 2, 3. We can't activate this again though, which kind of stinks. Problem is we could die to another Glorybringer if we do that. So I think we just say go. And then we Anger plus Lightning Bolt if they have another Glorybringer. Or if they just go to attacks with this, we can do the same thing. So we'll do this. And then this. See what their leftovers are. Hopefully it's not like Seasoned Pyromancers or anything like that that give them some more card advantage. That could be rough for us. But now we're in an okay spot because even a Glorybringer off the top is unlikely to be able to kill us. Okay. Great timing. Fantastic. You love to see it. Well, now... kind of want to draw a card first. Okay. Get this into play. So what if we Teferi bounce... We can... Oh, this is so awkward. If we Yorian... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We still have 2 up, so we can still Mana Leak, which is maybe good. I want to go up one more time with this, honestly, because I want to be able to keep this around. Blue. Make blue out of one of these. Cast Yorian. That one, that one, that one, that one, that one, that one. Yep. So now our ordering doesn't matter too much because we don't have like Felidars and things to come back in. I suppose we do want this to be here first. It was a token, so that one was going away anyway, but... So we'll attach this to this. Draw. Draw. Okay. 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 So those are all potentially decent draws. We will have to get this Clothis off the table. Potentially. So we are at 6. We could just die if they rip another Lightning Bolt, I suppose. They just have 2 Lightning Bolts. Oh, it's not great. Oh, that turns Clothis on. Oh, yikes. Okay. Yikes. I don't like that at all. Oops, need to turn that. Play this out. Alright, well, it's indestructible, so it doesn't make much of a difference, but we are in a spot where we need to double block anyway. Or else we would die to the Clothis itself on the next turn. And now we're in a spot where we're really just hoping to rip, we rip our cat. We're in a good spot. Bolt us once. Do you have another one? Oh no, it's bolting Saheeli. Okay, sorry. Woof. Oh, that was scary. I was like, crap, they actually had it all, but they did in fact not have it all. So we do get to bounce Clothis. Bounce that. We just have so many draws here. Really hoping that we can find it. I guess we can just filter through one of these. Abundant growth on that. I don't want to put it on fetch lands in case we do end up taking this off the table later on. Yikes. Okay. Now we can... white, blue, play this, keep this one, bounce, I could have bounced Yorion and redone all that, That probably would have been pretty smart. Bounce this, draw a card. Okay, and we just found it. Sweet. So now we have it next turn. How do we make sure we don't die? Okay, then we can go ahead and pass. We got him next turn. This has been pretty nuts. So, do we want to remand that? I guess not, because that doesn't stop us from killing them this next turn, does it? They have one card left in hand. And they've already played a land, so really hoping this is like Seasoned Pyromancer and they're incentivized to do this just like right now. Awkward part with our Astrolabes having to be tapped for all of that is now this attack can both go at Teferi. Okay, so if we block here, so get the Teferi off the table, but we get to remand or mana leak any spell that they have for us, so I think we're still fine. So we play this. Right, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, yeah, and we can mana leak anything they have, so yep. So turn 1 here, go up. Go up with it. Bottom. Turn 1 to white. Felidar. And we did it! Man, that was absolutely nuts. This has been an insanely long league. That last game we definitely did not play the quickest we possibly could have, but still, this league has been absurd at this point, and we should be 2-1. But a couple of unfortunate misplays, and we're at the 1-2 right now. But like I said, we're gonna go 0-2-3-0, so I'm ready for it. Anyway, I'll be back in a moment to see you in game numero 3. Alrighty, well here we are. Here we are. We have... Interesting. We have an interesting hand against what appears to be a mysterious opponent. So... If Path to Exile is a good card, our hand is good. But this could be ad nauseum. In which case Teferi is actually pretty good, though. You know, I'm going to keep this. It's definitely a speculative keep. But we have Stoneforge on 2 into a potential Teferi on 3, or activate Stoneforge on 2. Decent amount of matchups where that is good. Could also be the Titan deck. Okay. That's not great for us. I think then at this point we can go with Oath. Yikes. Really needed to hit a land there. Wow, that was brutal. The idea was if we went with Oath instead of Abundant Growth, we'd be in an okay spot. But now, not having hit a land off that is pretty traumatic, to say the least. Pretty reasonable chance we will just end up losing to Field of the Dead here. Interesting. Uro, I haven't seen this before in these lists. This is an interesting inclusion. Oops, so they're ramping away. They got that forest still in their hand. Yikes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, they can't Titan us next turn. But we can't really do much. Outside of, like, Abundant Growth this to draw. Hope we draw a land. Well, it's not the land we wanted, but I guess at least this Abundant Growth helps, maybe? The awkward part is what we do next turn. It's definitely a little strange. Ooh, so now maybe they can Titan us by going land, float, bounce land, maybe? No, they're just... Oh, yikes. Okay. Kept trying to click turn off auto yields and it wasn't letting me. That's frustrating. Well, I think this just has to be land, upkeep Path of Zuza, and then hope to remand their Titan. Path that, hope to remand if they have Titan. If they don't have Titan, we might be in like an okay spot, because next turn we can Stoneforge and still hold up remand or something, but I mean, I just don't see us really beating Primeval Titan reasonably, unless we can draw like exactly Mana Leak for it or something. I don't know. Yeah, not great. What are they considering here? Like pacting this or something? That'd be kind of wild, I feel like. I don't know what else they could be considering here. Not a whole lot to think about at this juncture, I wouldn't think, but maybe I'm missing something? Now the awkward part comes into play if they have a Dryad. Dryad plus bounce land could be a problem. Yeah, that could be really awkward. I suppose we could have gone to draw step instead of upkeep. That may have been better. In case they rip their basic or something, but... Yeah, if they have Dryad into bounce land, and they just get to keep bolting everything, that's pretty problematic. At least Teferi can keep some of their mana occupied for a little while, potentially, but You know, it's not really what we want to be using our Teferis for, obviously, so... Still interested as to why they're stopped here. Maybe they've disconnected or something? Be surprised if there's A, a decision to be made here, and B, a decision that is tough to make and has taken them 2+ minutes to decide upon that. That would be a bit of a surprise, to say the least. Okay. Has resolved. Okay. So now we're hoping to not get tightened. Okay, Summoner's Pact is actually fine for us, because then we remand the Titan. And their next turn, they have to pay for it. That's pretty good for us, I guess. So that goes back in their hand, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so they will get to... They will, unfortunately, get to Titan again next turn. So... I guess we're just in for Felidar Guardian. And trying to get him here. Yep, I want to use it. Well, that's a tad bit awkward, isn't it? Oh no, that stinks. Okay, so they pay for this. And they'll get to play their Titan. Now the good news is they can't do anything super scary in the way of, like, giving it haste or anything. I can't imagine, because they don't have, like, an amulet or anything wild like that. Now if they go, like, land amulet then that, we could be in some trouble. Appears that that's not happening. What are they doing here? Yeah, just Titan, right? I can't imagine there's anything better than casting Primeval Titan here. Whoa. Oh, they have a bounce land in hand still. And they are going to play bounce land. Have they played a land this turn? I don't think so. So they can go like Teleria West, bounce land, transmute Teleria West. Maybe that's why they're floating all that blue too. Yeah, that stinks. They meant to like float into their green and grab like a Sakura Tribe Elder or something? What do they have to say here? Ooh, am I disconnected here? Yikes. It appears that I am. That's what it looks like is happening right now. Yeah, so they transmuted Teleria West to grab a bounce land or something? I don't know. We'll find out in a little bit here. It looks like we are... I am currently left out of Moto. Great, fantastic. Okay, so what all did I miss? They got a Cavern of Souls. Okay. Got a Cavern of Souls, played a land, played an extra land, killed that. Okay. Bummer, but not the end of the world. Alrighty, sorry about that. I got disconnected there, had some problems going on, and so I decided I'd just join back up once we got to Game 2 in this matchup. So we were played against Titan. They were able to take us down. Had a pretty sweet hand for them, and you know, we didn't interact quite as much as I think we may have needed to. So this hand is interesting. They have one piece of interaction, one combo piece. I think I'm going to keep this, because we know for sure that we have all the lands that we need with this red and 6, which is pretty nice. We have one piece of interaction, and we can try and take out a Dryad with that, which could potentially be pretty good for us. Alright, so let's play this tap, say go. Really just going to be looking for more interaction, I guess, as we keep going through here. Well, or that. Just going to go up with this. Doesn't make much of a difference to go down or up or not or anything like that, so I might as well go up. I could have fetched out a land, but I'd rather get a plains with this, and I only really want to use one of these. Let's see what this is here. Is this just explore? Yep. And probably like play a bounce land. Bounce one of them back. Yep. Knowing they have that Slayer Stronghold in their hand is a pretty big game, actually. So go ahead and get a plains here. We'll return this. Go up with this. I would have put just about any card on the bottom there just because I don't want them to know that we have this rolled up for this turn. Awkward part is if they find a way to get up a ton of lands and they can like shoot one bolt at this or something. I guess it doesn't actually matter though. We should just have them here, I think. I don't know if they have a whole ton in their deck to interact with this outside of like play all their stuff out and then pack the negation us. That's about all they can really have. Yeah, so like play this out. They still have 3 land drops, so like regular land, bounce land, regular land, and then just hope to like get there with us or something. Okay. Probably picking up. Oh, I would have assumed the castle actually. Interesting. Let's just replay Field of the Dead, and then they're dead. Because that would be cool. I'd be fine with that. Alright, there's no way they have, like... Do they have, like, Dismember or something? No, we just go for it. Yep. Looks like they're F6'd. Okay, sweet. Cool. Alright, we got them there. This one's going to be harder on the draw. Do we want to keep in... Do we want, like, lightning bolts to answer Azusa's and whatnot? Maybe we can do something like this. Try and kill their little things. That doesn't kill the Dryad, though, so that's a problem, huh? Not killing the Dryad matters. No, I'll just go back to where we were at before. I think that's fine. Obviously this, the bunch of counterspells is a little more soft to the Veil of Summers that they very likely have, but not really going to be in a position where we can play around too many cards of that variety, honestly. Well, this hand's awkward. Man, if this was an Astrolabe instead of an Othanissa, we might actually be able to keep this. But we cannot. This one we will keep, and I think we can just ship. Guess probably this actually to the bottom. So we can play Breeding Pool tapped on one. Could have trimmed some number of Ice Fangs, I suppose, in this matchup in favor of like bolts to tag things like this and Azusa and whatnot. I suppose we could have done that, but I like that these are redraws. Yeah, just put you on the bottom. Just put you there. This is kind of a cool combo to just like be able to play a bounce land on one, essentially, is what that is, which is kind of cool. Alright, so they've got their nut draw. They have their nut draw. Oh, they got a lot. We just gotta say go. Hope they don't have Cavern into Titan. Yeah, there's nothing else we can really do, huh? Yeah, we'll just say go. Hope they don't have Cavern Titan. If they have Cavern Titan, we might end up losing here, because I'm going to have to use this path on it. Well, sometimes they got it all. Alright, well, I'll have to path this then. And now this Mana Leak is assuredly dead. Do we just get the Triome here then? Do we just get basic and flash this in? Nah, I like that better actually. Just flash this in. Draw our Seal of Occurred. And now if they're smart, they like bounce and repick this up and then play this and then name the Dryad, and then we're just actually toast. It's probably what's happening to us here at this point. Interesting. So they have another Titan already? Dang. That's rough. So that's what this tells me, is they have another Titan, which is why they're making this play so that way next turn they can play a Titan and give it haste in the same turn. That is quite brutal. Yikes. Yikes, yikes, yikes. So this Mana Leak is not doing anything. So we can play this out. Draw a card. Man, wouldn't that have been great? That would have been so good before. Guess we gotta take Felidar, because we're kind of on the path to hope we can combo them. Go to their draw step. Try and get rid of this. Okay. So we know they have Cavern and 3 others. And we are just hoping that it's not... It's so brutal. It's so brutal. It hurts so bad. What I was going to say is we're just hoping that it's not another Titan. Because we just needed 1 turn of reprieve. But, you know, they turn 3 Titaned us into turn 4 Titaned us with haste. Through a Cavern. I mean, that's about as good as they can ask for, honestly. Now they got a bunch of those. That's great. Ooh, they have 2 fields. Interesting. Most of the lists that I've seen are on 1. But that's an interesting inclusion. Well, at least our thing has Death Touch, so we get to trade with this and then die? Yeah, there's not much we can do. I guess we get to flicker this, try and live through 1 more turn, potentially. I don't know if we can, though. So we're taking 7, 8 here, going to 10, 2, 4, 6, 8. Yeah, I don't think there's any way out of this, actually, at this point. Because Titan has Trample. So I don't think that there's any reasonable way out of this at this point, because we don't have, like, Anger the Gods or anything in our deck. Yeah, sometimes you get wrecked, you know? Hilarious how good Anger would actually be here to just wreck all this stuff. So we go to 9 and take Infinity? Yep, that seems about right. Well, you know, we fought hard. And by that, I mean we got absolutely demolished. I always find it humorous. That Titan deck doesn't really seem like it's around too much in Modern right now. But every time I play a deck that has Mystic Sanctuaries in it, or Little Teferis, so decks that get beat by Field of Ruin, I queue into it at least once a league. It just feels like, you know, it's right. It just, someone upstairs knows, and they're like, hey, you know what? We've got to give you that matchup variance, you know? We gotta Gotta cue you into one of those really, really tricky ones. See if you can find a nut draw on your part to try and outdo them. And you know, honestly, we weren't that far apart because we were about to, if they didn't have the Titan that turn, we were going to have a pretty decent turn of our own there. So, all things considered, a worthy fight. Alright, nothing from our opponent once again. We have Remand and nothing else. I'm like kind of in for Remand though. Let's just draw another card. What if Path is bad though? Nah, we got a mulligan. Okay, I don't like this hand, but alright. They mulligan all the way down to 5. I wonder if this is this is probably a Neo brand. And then our first hand would have just been great. Oh, it's Tron. So we're just dead. See, this is so humorous, like... Play Mystic Sanctuary to Fairy deck, queue into double Tron Amulet Titan. Or Titan, I guess, not Amulet Titan, but... Oh, whereas it's like I played through my Infect Leagues and it's like 7 Lurrus decks. Honestly, just how it works, I guess, you know? It is what it is. Alright, hope they miss. If they don't miss, we're probably done for. Walking Ballista. Well, that card on its own beats us. So that's a bit of a bummer. Yikes. Just like our last Tron matchup, we're going to go all lands. We don't need no stinking spells. Don't need none of them around here. I'm fine with fetching duels here because, oh, what? They don't always have it. I guess they don't always have it. Wow, that's wild. As I was going to say, I'm fine with fetching duels here because it's pretty unlikely. Oh. They're just playing out the Ballista for one. Sure. It is pretty unlikely that having Death Touch on our thing really matters. Let's go ahead and grab our Triome here. Sick. And there it is. Once again, not mattering. Maybe I could have played that to Fairy out, but I just don't really want them to just like Tron land, make this thing swole, crunch crunch kind of thing. Because I'd be at 8 to go to 3, they'd attack for 3, ping it for 2, they'd kill us. Well, shoot. That probably means we're dead. So activate, play Tron land, yeah, that's no good for us. No bueno. Well, I'm going to run this out there to try and kill this thing. Just to see if we can get this off the table. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. Yeah, just while they can't pump it, it's just good to, you know, just trade off. Get off the table, not have to worry about it, that kind of thing. Probably should have fetched before drawing a card, but it's pretty statistically insignificant, all things considered. Alright, ooh, these mismatching lands are getting me real good, not gonna lie. Getting me real good. Okay, well, what if we get a Plains here? Get ourselves a Plains. Then we Oath. Okay. And then we Teferi. We're just gonna go down with this on the Oath. Yikes. Well, none of those are really the combo cards we were looking for, but I guess we're not in any immediate need to do it right now anyway. Now, our hope is that they have, like, Karn, because if they Karn and, like, well, they probably don't have to go down on this, they probably just go up, and in which case they just get a solid mountain. The card we can't beat is Ugin. Okay, so this is actually, all things considered, not the worst case situation. I'm hoping they downtick this. Okay, that's actually kind of good for us. Whatever this is probably not. This is like Oblivion Stone or something. No? Okay. Because what we can do now is we can Oath, blink it with Felidar, and have our Felidar Guardian in play, or we can Oath, Stoneforge, Ren, which might actually be better. What if we Stoneforge, Oath? To just like make sure that we're going to have what we need next turn. I kind of like that actually. Well, let's Oath first. Yep. See if we can find ourselves a Saheeli. Nope. Ice Fang Quaddle. It's not quite what we wanted. Okay, we'll play this out. I think we're just going to double Stoneforge here. Oh, don't be lagging out on me again. What just happened? It like lagged through that. Gosh, that's so frustrating. Man, because we should have both of these in play right now. We kind of need both of them in play. I think it has to be Sword, honestly, because... gosh, that stinks. We don't have the Batter Skull, too. So what Sword allows us to do is have more mana here, which allows us an easier opportunity to do things like Felidar, Blink, this, and combo in the same turn, which looks like that might have to be how we win here. Okay, so yep, they'll just get a Plains out of our hand. Or a Island, I mean, sorry. Now we're just hoping they don't have like more follow-ups. I mean, a lot of the time you can beat the first one out of Tron. That's typically, it's rough, but it's not backbreaking kind of thing. Beating more than that is really tricky. Yikes, yikes, yikes. Okay, well, that's a tough one to beat. It's a tough next card to beat. So I think we need to activate this. Put this into play. Equip. Play our land. Going to attack. I would be surprised if they blew the O-Stone, but they might. If they did, that would be good for us. Wow, really? That's so aggressive. Oh, that's really good for us. Okay. So now we can... Wow, that's so good. I'm so surprised. What's better for us? Ice Fang or Astrolabe down here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I guess it's probably Ice Fang, because if we draw off of Ice Fang into Saheeli, we can combo them next turn, which would be pretty awesome. Another one, huh? Yeah, see, like I said, it's the next ones that are a problem. It's typically not the first. Okay, I guess this will just be Ren at this point. Astrolabe. We'll go with Ren. I suppose we could have drawn our card first, but... Oh, we can't... Oh, I'm so dumb. I thought this was the Teamer Triumph. Oh my goodness, that's a pretty big mistake. Looks like it doesn't matter, they have like Worm Coil 2 to follow up. Another Walking Ballista, is that what this is? Yikes. Okay. So now we can't combo them this turn. Gosh, dang it. That's so frustrating. So frustrating. So now we need a removal spell for this. Oop. Okay. Still need a removal spell. Okay. I think we just have to bounce this, draw a card. We need to find a removal spell for this so we can use a removal spell in the same turn that we're going to combo. Green, green, blue, blue, red, red, white, white. Okay, so it doesn't really matter. Really needing a path here. I mean, we're as bad as this looks, we're not dead. You know, we are not dead, which is good. This walking ballista is not good for us. It probably means we have to rip something within the next turn or so, but it's not. Okay, that's probably not going to do it. 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we have enough where if we draw a Path to Exile, so goodbye Mana Leak. If we draw a Path to Exile, we may not be dead, and we may actually be able to combo them if they don't have another something. Now, they do have 3, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13 mana to pump into this, so it gets 3 counters, becomes a 5/5. That adds 1 mana. So 14, but that doesn't actually change. Oh, Sanctum, so that way their next card will be good. Gotcha. Yeah. I mean, we're probably dead to what we have happening to us right now, right? That's 1, 2, 3, I believe, counters that they get on that. So it becomes a 4/4. I mean, they could just restart the game next turn. That'd be kind of dope. Just start with the red and 6 in play. That'd be kind of cool. Not that they're going to do that, but... Okay, so this is a 4/4. So, Path to Exile wins us the game. And I believe that's it. Okay. So now I think instead we need to Jace Brainstorm. Need to find a path in these 3. Now we can't win the game this turn, but we maybe can next turn. Whoa! Do we have a path in the graveyard? We don't. Okay. Yeah, so... Are we just dead if they just attack? Probably. So they have a lot of mana. 3, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, so they can put 8 counters on it, so we are just dead. Yeah. That's a bummer. Assuming they click the correct buttons, we are, in fact, just dead. Twink, there we go. Alright, well, man, that was another rough one. Another really rough one. We were very, very close. They had to have second Karn into, actually, Ballista. It's their only way to interact with our combo, which is a bit of a nuisance. I think we're just on... Yeah, well, the Chandra seems pretty bad. And what else is not great here? Ice Fang, probably. Just for these two. I'm fine with leaving in the bolts against a list that has more access to Walking Ballista. Because we need ways to take that off the table. Additionally, if they don't have little Karns, our bolts become a little better because... Excuse me. Because if we can answer one Planeswalker with a bolt, when they only have like 8-ish payoff cards, then we're in a pretty good spot. But it's when they have the little Karns as well too that get problematic permanents that I don't like the Lightning Bolt plan quite as much, because, you know, if you bolt the little Karn and then they have a big Karn, you know, you're not going to win kind of thing. If you bolt the big Karn and then they have a little Karn after that, once again, same thing. But in this situation, where it is less likely that they have little Karn, considering they played out 2 Walking Ballistas in their main deck, the decks that have little Karn are less likely to have Walking Ballistas in their main at any number more than, like, 1, if at all. So, I feel that may be the case for us. Could also be that just Batterskull's not great. Yeah, maybe. Whatever. This is fine. We just have to race and combo them, and that's really all that it is. This whole league, that's all this really been. Just who can race the fastest in our hands in our 80 card deck, to no surprise, have not been the fastest races. We shall see what our opponent has for us. This Yorion has been really sweet, though. The couple of Yorion turns we've had have been really awesome, and that's been kind of fun. Right, just getting to blink out like everything and get a ton of value out of it. I mean, one time we actually got just the concede to our Yorion, right? Just because we got so much out of it that, you know, they just took a draw step and they're like, nope, can't beat that. And just moved on, so that was kind of cool. That was kind of cool. Come on, there we are. Oh, there we are. Okie dokie. Alright, we would love to play first. I would love to reveal this. We would love to have a great 7. My hands have not been great this league, to be honest. Boy. Okay, this hand doesn't really have any interaction, but it does potentially race, so I'm going to keep it. Also having Astrolabe as a redraw, and Oath of Nissa as a way to try to find something like a Stone Forge, or something that could be a bit of a nuisance on the ground, is pretty good as well, too. So we get an island. Play this out. Not sold on the Mystic Sanctuary in this deck, actually. It's cost us a couple of hands, and without having like Cryptic Command in your deck, it's definitely, I mean, it's not great, to say the least. It's definitely not great. Another land. Well, we do need one, but I was kind of hoping to draw like a piece of interaction, because this Oath of Nissa could potentially find us a land, so I wasn't really looking for that to find us the land. I don't know. See what our opponent has. I mean, they're on 6. Whenever my Tron opponent keeps more than 5, I feel like I'm probably dead with a controlling deck. It typically doesn't work out super well, but we shall see. You never know. Sometimes your opponent just has nothing. But we'll see what they've got. We will see. Maybe they have nothing. They're not playing anything yet. Maybe they accidentally clicked and kept the no-lander. That's what happened, right? Right? Yeah? No? Okay, well, worth a shot. So this Oath of Nissa is looking to probably try to find an Ashiok, to be honest with you. Decent chance that that might be able to shut him off a Tron for an extra turn, maybe? Not always, but okay. Well, nope, not with that card there. So, what do we want to grab here? Temple Garden, maybe? Sure, I guess. Temple Garden, Steam Vents, maybe, actually? Sure, we'll get Steam Vent. Oh, shoot. There's a reason I was trying to grab green. Well, I suppose we'll just do it this way. But that's going to be pretty rough. So we'll get to look. See what we can find here. Probably just lands. That's how this typically works out. But we'll see. You never know. Still looking for Ashiok, I suppose, is like an okay card, but looks like it's going to be a turn too slow here, most likely. Come on here, opponent. There's no way you need a full minute just to say, yes, you can look at your top 3 cards. Come on. I'm just trying to ponder. That's all. Just pondering. Just pondering. Come on. Oh my goodness. Jace. Sweet. Exactly what we wanted. 4-drop Planeswalker. Well, kind of hoping that, like, their only payoff, like, is... Shoot, I don't know. Oblivion Stone maybe we can beat, because maybe we can force them to pop it somehow. I think I'm just going to play a Saheeli and go up. Because maybe they have, like, Wormcoil or something as their threat, and then we can get lucky? Question mark? Maybe that's where we're at. That's about all we got. Let's find out. Alright, opponent. You get 1 billion mana. You've unlocked it. Achievement unlocked. There we go. They figured it out. Okay. Man, why is it always Karn? I feel like I played this deck a lot, and it was never Karn. Felt like it was just never Karn. Oh, man. Sick timing. Sick timing. Just most brutal of all. Just the most brutal. Well, I guess we're probably on the, like, play Jace out, make them Karn it plan. Gosh, that sucks. Because we have to get this Karn off the table, and if it goes up even once, we're probably never getting it off the table, would be my guess. So we'll just do our best right now. And I guess we are going to need lands, so that's a redraw, though. This can... Oh, shoot. I actually meant to unclick that. I meant to do forest and... well, oh well. I think we put the path on the top, so I think I should be drawing that, however. Well, no Ugin, please. Well, we're going to find out, aren't we? Could just end up being another Karn too, which would also probably be game for us, because they can just, like, freely Karn minus on everything, or Walking Ballista. Well, I guess we have a path for that, if that's all they have. Oh my goodness! Made the big brain play of leaving the extra land in my hand for their next Karn. Goodness sakes. Okay. Don't have green mana, I don't want to leave that up anyway, so I guess I'll do this. Minus on this to draw a card. Ooh. Well, we can't let them resolve a Walking Ballista, unfortunately. Which is really awkward that we're, like, super tagging it, but... Ugh. Yeah, this is not great. It's definitely not great. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The good news is this Ren should be able to get us to land 6, and we really only need to get to 6. So this is probably Walking Ballista for 2. Yeah, you got our Astrolabe. We got fine enough mana. Not worried about that. Oh my goodness. Really? Why are you bringing that in against us? You're just gonna demolish us. Ugh. Ugh, yuck, 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 yuck. We have to let this happen. Unfortunately, they probably take Mana Leak and then resolve their Walking Ballista. Oh. Interesting. Are they gonna like play their Ballista as like a 1/1 or something? Because if they even play it as a 2/2, we get it. Just playing it out as a 1/1. Okay. I guess they get to put another counter on it this way, but whatever. Well, we're getting close. Ooh, interesting choice on their part. I personally would have put another counter on this, because otherwise this Renin 6 can now come down and can tag this Walking Ballista. Which is kind of cool, actually. So we are going to need that off the table. So we'll go with this. Hope we find a Saheeli. But even lands are fine, because we are in a spot where we're going to have to combo them all in one turn. What do we have in the graveyard? Anything? No. Them searching their library is pretty irrelevant at this point. No. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And now we're at 6. So we get to do this. Ping this down. If they go up, they get our Mana Leak. If they... I mean, if they have another Walking Ballista, or a way to take this Oath off the table, I guess, actually. We're dead. I'm curious what they do here. Decent chance they kill the... They going after Ren, or are they just going face, or Teferi? Okay, that's fine. Yep, seems fine. Guess we should turn off auto yields. Do yield through this turn. Okay, so they're going to do that and do that. Okay, that's fine. Oh. Undo yield through this turn. Okay. So this probably finds Blast Zone. Oh, really? Do they have a thing to cast right now? I think we just have to Yorion, blink this Oath. Because we need to activate this Oath so that way we can find a Saheeli, because we can't actually Felidar blink the Oath, we have to Felidar blink a land at this point. Which stinks. So if this finds a land or a Saheeli, then we can try to combo next turn. Man, well, I have to take the Saheeli. But part of me wants to take the land to kind of like fade them as if we don't have anything, really. But I think we have to just take the one piece and hope. And we hope they don't have Ulamog or Walking Ballista or Oblivion Stone. We can beat... likely we can beat another Karn. Okay, they're just going to exile that. Alright, that's fine. Man, this Karn just did some work. Just doing work. Exiling everything. Okay. Yep. Hope they don't have anything. Oh. Okay, now we hope they don't have a removal spell. Because we can't beat it. But we have to go for him. So, give it a shot, I guess. They're not yielding right now. That's a bit of a pain. So, we're probably dead. But... I don't know. That part went kind of quick. If they're smart, they wait for me to... Whoa. My goodness. Okay, was not actually expecting that to work. Not in the slightest. Wow, we lived through 4 Karn activations, and a Walking Ballista, and a Thought-Knot Seer, and we still comboed them. That's... Whew, that's pretty impressive, honestly. So we're really looking for mana leaks and remands in the early game this time. Probably have to mulligan pretty aggressively towards those cards, unfortunately, which is tough, you know, to have a 5-outer in an 80-card deck, basically. That's all you're really looking for, but we don't have a whole lot else to really look forward to, all things considered. Are you really playing Felidar plus Saheeli? Are you really playing Tron opponent? Huh? Huh? You want to go down that road? Are ya? Yes, we are. We are, in fact. Whoa! Look at that! Look at that! That's what I wanted for Christmas. That's what I wanted. Wow. Well, now we have to hope that they mulligan down to like 4 still. Like, this still might not be good enough. So the awkward part is, depending on what their threats are, we may have to mana leak first. Okay, so they went down to 5. Okay. We may have to mana leak first, because mana leak does fall off, whereas remand is essentially make you pay X, you know, make them pay the same amount again. So if they have like an Ugin, we may have to mana leak to make sure that it's gone. If they have a Karn, we may be able to get away with remand, maybe. Depends on what turn they do all this on as well too. Worldbreaker. Well, that one has to get mana leaked, because that one getting remanded is kind of a sick joke. Okay. Well, we gotta be aware of that one. Oh boy. That is... Yikes. That's a big yikes. That's a really big yikes. Yeah, wow. Kind of hoping they... Oh, what? They didn't just crack that? What? Oh, they have Veil of Summer. That's why. Well, we need to get this one veiled, because we need to keep the mana leak for the other one, unfortunately. Oh, they don't have Veil of Summer. What? I am very confused. Cracking for green now. Interesting, considering we know they have a Sylvan Scrying in hand. But I guess that means they have to tap that next turn anyway. Ooh, another remand. Okay, that's definitely not bad. We'll play this out and we'll say go. Probably going to remand this Ancient Stirrings again, if we're given the chance. Ancient Stirrings. Yeah, I'm fine with doing it to that as well too. Okay. Walking Ballista for 1? Yep. So now we have this Ancient Stirring Sylvan Scrying, so that's their hand. Okay. Well, this stinks because, man, they've just had Walking Ballista when they needed it. Yikes. So Ancient Stirring, Sylvan Scrying, Worldbreaker. So that's what we know they have. So if they Ancient Stirrings, we have to let this one resolve, unfortunately. Got a Thought Knot Seer. Yikes. Okay. Well, really hoping they don't have a land to go along with that. It appears they don't. They probably would have played it out pre-combat if they did. Okay. Now we can play this out. Find our sword. And yeah, I guess we're not in a great spot, but at least we can put this Batterskull into play potentially. And that can kind of tussle with some stuff. Yeah, it's not great. So they Sylvan Scrying, we do have to mana leak that, unfortunately. Because we can't allow them to get away with knowing they have Tron. That just gives them access to too much stuff. So now we only know these two cards in their hand. And that's pretty dangerous. Oof. Got lucky that they didn't have another Tron land. And we're through like all of our counter magic, and that's really the biggest problem right now. We need like, oh my gosh, I was literally just going to say a path to be able to answer that. The Walking Ballista. Okay. So we have 3 islands, so I'm going to play this out, because then what we can potentially do is path, and then like Mystic Sanctuary back Remand or something. There's no way we can draw that this turn, right? No? 1, 2, 3. So if they just go for the Thought Knot Seer, that's pretty awkward for us, actually. But there's not a whole lot we can do about that. Decent chance we will just put Remand back on top, but we're not for sure on that yet. We'll have to see what their next turn looks like. If they hit Tron, we're in big trouble, because then they can 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, if they hit Tron, they can Thought Knot Seer us and then Worldbreaker us, and that's a big yikes. That would be a big yikes. So we're hoping they don't have that put together for us. They're probably debating, like, do they just attack, or what do they do here? Okay, so what do we want to do here? We have to let this resolve. This trigger on the stack, we can pat this Mystic Sanctuary, put it back on top, and then pat this one next turn. So kind of like that, actually. So we pat this. We get to draw another card. Okay, it's just a land. That kind of stinks. So now, I want to put this Batterskull into play. So we'll just get it into play now, just in case their plan would be to take that and they have another way to deal with this stuff. And then we let all this happen. They get to take our Saheeli. And then we can put Path to Exile back on top. Maybe we don't, because if we attack, we make them discard a card, get to untap all of our lands by putting this on there. Maybe we put Remand back. I actually like putting Remand back. We may be able to just, like, win this game, which is kind of wild, like, without going through all this combo nonsense. We'll see. Our upkeep, do they have, like, Dismember or something? Oh, okay. So, activate this. Put this into play. Equip. Okay, yep, so they did decide they needed to block with that, which is good for us. Because now this Remand is fantastic. So they need to rip a land to Worldbreaker us, I believe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, yeah. And basically anything they rip except for a Tron land is, like, probably not really good enough for them at this point. Go to end step. We will fetch end step. We could end up drawing like a Jace or something to make us feel a little bad about that, but I'm okay with this point at getting this stuff out of here. Doesn't really matter. You got plenty of mana on all fronts. It's a fairy. That's an interesting one. Do we play that out pre-combat? Maybe? Yeah, that seems fine. Can also oath pre-combat. Like, minus this on an oath. Well, we may end up having them as soon as next turn now, with all this. Fortunately, even if we untap our lands after hitting them with this worm, we're still not going to be able to kill them. Okay, any order. Play this out. No. Go to combat. Attack with both of these. Get in for 7, make them discard, untap our lands. And then we can... Yeah, and then we can Yorion second main. So we'll do that. Yup. And I guess we can blink this, and that's really it. I mean, I guess we can blink this, but it doesn't actually get anything. So there's not really a reason to do that, but... So do this. Yep, doesn't really matter. Hope we can find Saheeli here. No. I guess Stoneforge is technically better. But definitely a bit of a bummer. Okay. So... we can remand, and we've got a pretty live board presence here. So we'll see what they've got. 6 mana. This is... Okay, Walking Ballista. I think that one has to be fine at this point. Because we can Teferi bounce it. I mean, it'll trade, but I think that's still fine. I think we need to save this remand for something really, like, probably the Worldbreaker we know about, or a Karn or something. So we'll attempt to bounce that. They might just... Oh, okay. They just gave up. Well, alright, well, we didn't go with the magical, you know, 0-2 into 3-0. But all things considered, we played against 3 big mana decks. We were actually able to beat one of them, and then I chucked away our first game. So this really should be a 3-2 while playing against Tron twice and Amulet Titan. Or rather, Titan, not Amulet Titan. No amulets anymore, but, you know, stuck in my old habits of calling it that. So honestly, I mean, not bad. A decent showing, but not what I would consider to be like fantastic, I suppose. I do really enjoy this Sultai Lurrus deck that I've put together recently, so I will probably be throwing up a video of that somewhat soon as well too, because I do definitely enjoy that video. So if you're interested in some more Lurrus content, I know some people are definitely sick of that, but if you're interested in seeing a different Lurrus deck, one that's not posted all over the place with, you know, results all over the place and something you'll probably recognize, it is pretty cool, it's pretty awesome, it's more kind of my jam as far as decks are considered, deck styles are considered, I should say, so feel free to take and give that a look, assuming that that's up in the channel pretty quick here, but all in all, you know, a fun league. Fun, had its ups and downs, for sure, but, you know, I think the deck's pretty good. I still stick to my sentiment as before that there's a reasonable chance that maybe we should have just had Celestial Purges somewhere in there. They may not have helped a tremendous amount outside of that first game that I should have won, but I do think that Celestial Purge is a pretty fantastic card right now. And then additionally, I also think that Disdainful Stroke is in a pretty darn good spot right now. So if I were to take this list right now, I think what I would do is I would take these Lightning Helixes, and one of these Anger the Gods, and I would turn them into 2 Celestial Purges and 2 Disdainful Strokes. I then would consider if I wanted to turn my Lightning Bolts and Oath of Chandra in the main into Lightning Helixes instead of Lightning Bolts. I think that if you want access to a card like Lightning Helix, I think that it's better in the main right now with all of these prowess decks. But, you know, who knows? I'm not positive on that because there are definitely considerations to, like, when you lose to them, you lose by a lot. So, I mean, it's tough to tell, honestly. But either way, this it seems pretty cool. Definitely seems like a good, solid deck. If this is your jam, I would start with a list pretty similar to this, I think. The main, I guess, 80, if you will, felt totally fine. I guess one other consideration I would have would be trying to fit a sort of Fire and Ice in there somehow. Because there were definitely a large number of board states where drawing extra cards off of my Stoneforge would have been good. Additionally, having multiple Stoneforges or being able to Teferi or Yori and bounce Stoneforges means that you can kind of get away with having another equipment in the deck. And then also, being pro-red is pretty decent right now as well, too, against a lot of the prowess decks and whatnot. So, yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video itself, and I will see you next time.